Dirt, what it do? It's your boy Smoove the Blaq Kennedy and your boy M. Dot. This is Step Into the Light, Step Into the Mic podcast. Welcome back. Mr. Matt, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother. Taking it, doing what I need to do, working with baby, everything's going smooth, man. But enough about me. We got a beautiful special guest in the building, Miss India. Want to introduce yourself, to the folks and everything like that. Tell them what's going on. Go ahead.
Well, hello, everybody. First of all, Joe and Matt, thank you so much for having me. I was so surprised when I got the call or the DM, however, because I was like, me? What I do? But yeah, so just like a little short thing about me. Talking about myself is hard. Let's see. I own a business. I am a virtual assistant and content writer for a lot of coaches, consultants, e-commerce, that kind of jam, and podcasters too. So another reason I'm super, super glad to be on here because I love your podcast. Other than that, proud alumna of Baylor University, the Baylor University, Sikkim Bears, and don't ever get it twisted. And then what else about me? When I'm not working I'm normally hanging out with my family, hanging out with my crazy nieces and nephews, or I'm singing somewhere because I do background vocals too. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Wait, hold on. You do backup vocals?
I do. So
you
lots of dreams, and one of them is singing background, and so I actually sing in a band, and I do like gigs and all that stuff like that.
Oh, well, if you say you sing, you're gonna have to hit a note real quick.
Oh, what happened?
I'm just saying, you say you sing.
I'm trying to think, okay, what is uncopyrighted that you can do? I think you could do a hymn or something like that. Wait.
Yeah, do Happy Day.
Yeah, okay. What is Happy Day?
Oh, happy day.
Oh, what happened, Matt? You better go ahead and do that, boy.
That's from Sister Act.
Yes. I just saw that movie like 6 months ago for the first time. But that's it. Stop. No, stop it. Nope.
You know what? You and your sister, I don't know.
What's up with people not knowing these Black movies?
I'm gonna get to that. Listen, we're Black, biggity Black. You feel me? Power to the people.
Black.
I love us. At the same time, we were kind of sheltered and we weren't allowed to watch certain stuff. But we have like 3 top movies that we would sneak and watch when our parents weren't out the house. This Act was not one of them. It was like Friday, next Friday, and Baby Boy. Oh my God.
Really?
Wait, so hold on. Wait, pause, rewind. So you're telling me you haven't seen Boys in the Hood?
Okay, I saw that when I was like 17. So again, almost out the house, like past adolescence.
Menace to Society?
No, I don't understand any of the references or any of that. I know.
Have you seen Love and Basketball?
Yes, I have seen that. That is now that's the episode. I have lots of thoughts regarding that movie, but
That's a beautiful movie. It's very well written.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did.
Who directed that?
You said what?
Who directed it? I don't know.
Ooh, who did direct that movie? It wasn't Spike Lee, was it? No.
Nah.
Who did that one?
I don't know. That'll be some homework. I'll find
Yeah. Hey, listeners, comment who directed the Love and Basketball film with Omar Epps and the beautiful Sanaa Lathan. Please let us know. Comment when you do hear this podcast.
Yeah, for real. I'm super curious to know. Man.
Wait, so I'm like compelled now to list every Black movie to see if you've seen it.
Bro, it's not gonna help because I do this all the time with her sister. It's not gonna help. You're not gonna strike gold if that's what you're looking to do.
See this? Let's see. Juice. Ain't seen that one. I know. Boomerang. Shout out to Eddie Murphy. Haven't seen that one.
Oh my God.
I just saw Coming to America last year, but you remember when they have released Coming to America 2 and they did that double feature on Amazon? That's how I saw that. What are the other big ones? Where they I'm trying to like where they got shot a lot. That sounds bad, but
there's a lot of movies.
They got shot a lot.
They got shot a lot.
Like the Juices and stuff.
Dead President.
You know what? Boom! That movie scared the mess out of me. I
could see why.
And I'm okay. I don't know if this is a spoiler. Like, sorry to y'all's listeners, but I feel like you should already seen it. But anyways, the movie part or the part of the movie when Chris Tucker dies and his eyes are looking that way, I was like, woo, I'm scared. and I never took her the same. So.
Wait, so you're telling me you never seen Harlem Nights with Richard?
Nope, that's another one too. Yeah, Harlem Nights. People like Harlem Nights, Richard Pryor.
Have you seen Belly with Nas and DMX?
That's another one. It's like Juice, but I haven't seen it. I know.
I don't think a lot of people seen Belly because, well, all right, never mind. I lied. No, it's
I think a lot of people have seen
Shotters.
Shotters is definitely a movie that a lot of people haven't seen.
What is that? Does ATL count? Boom. ATL?
And then ATL does count because it's recent, but we're talking about the old schools now.
Oh, then no.
New Jack City.
New Jack City? Nino? Oh my God.
All right, India. All right.
Me and my best friend are supposed to do like a little movie night thing, sequential order thing of all the Black movies, but it has yet to happen. But yeah, but the same goes for all of my sisters. Like, it's not just me, it's my twin sister, older and younger. So we all collectively like really allowed to see those movies. So I just kind of missed that part of being Black when I was growing up.
That's all right.
Lord have mercy.
We forgive you. We forgive you.
We gonna get it together though.
Wow. All right. So let's talk about you said you pretty much do a lot of like media work, right? Correct?
Yeah, I do a lot of content writing. Mm-hmm.
So what made you want to get into that field? What did you go to school for, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so I went to school for communications with a minor in English. So like I was literally like a bookworm nerd. Like my sisters would go outside and play PlayStation. I'd be reading books, series, all that. So like writing and reading has always been so important to me. And so that's pretty much how it started. And so, and also too, and I'm telling on my twin sister for a minute, but she knows I love her. In high school, I wrote all of her papers. And
wow.
My first client. To be honest, she was my first ever client. And so she used to threaten me. She'd be like, just write this paper for me or else. And I'd be like, I'm gonna tell on you. And I'm like, how are you gonna tell on me?
What a jerk.
But at the same time, this is actually where I found my niche. I found that writing is just not some folks' strong suit, and like just the concept of whether it's structured writing, creative writing, writing, etc. It's just not their suit. So I always wanted to help people in the writing area that they just weren't writing. So like my twin sister, I'm like, she's not good at writing, but like ROTC, she was a beast. Like she was telling them what to do. So I'm like, for me, I couldn't see her like fail and essentially not graduate high school because of something like writing. So that pretty much is where it started. And then throughout college, I was India, did you read the chapter last night? Okay, what happened? And then in my career, when I started my business, I was like, okay, India, what are you good at that comes naturally easy to you that you can help other people with? And I was like, oh, content writing, duh. And so it kind of just clicked for me, thankfully. I mean, I had reflected on it, did research on it as far as the industry I'm in, but it clicked for me because I was like, India, just sharpen your skills in what you already know how to do instead of trying to create something that you know you're either A, not going to like, or B, not going to do as well as you could do when you're working in your zone of genius.
Mm-hmm. So when you said, reading, that's something that you hold dear. What's your top 3 favorite books?
Ooh, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. It's a good one. Next one's a child's book, but it's a really good one. But A Series of Unfortunate Events, like that.
Oh boy!
Hey, nice.
Don't. All right, that's what's up.
And then also, and then a business book, Traction, is very, very good.
Oh wow!
Traction's really, really good too. So yeah, I would say those are like my top 3 books right now.
Okay, so out of Series of Unfortunate Events, which book was your favorite one?
The first one, because I love an origin story. I got where it came from. That's my whole thing with superhero movies. If you don't tell me to watch Black Panther 10, because but I love a good origin story. It's like the first one was really, really good. And also as a kid, I felt bad for those kids who had no parents, and so like stories always get to me. But I read that when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and they were like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. So that one was like the best one.
Okay. All right, that's what's up. I think mine was the Slippery Slope, which might have been book number 8.
Yeah, that was like way later in the series.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because prior to that one, it was the Carnivorous Carnival, I believe.
Yep, and then Lemony Snicket took a break. He took a break from writing, and then
he did.
The other ones too, because it was I remember Barnes and Noble, that was my place, okay? And so I would get there all the time. I remember it came out, and I was like, Mommy, can you please get this book for me? And that was when I started collecting books too, like for like. stuff too.
So you knocked out the Harry Potter series too, right? Okay. All right. Understood.
Did you watch the movie though?
I did.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of cheated a little bit, but I don't know my ABC Family. But I did read the first 2 books; they were good. But I was just like, I'm done with it.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So, all right. So your business, right? When did you realize that it was time for you to open up your own business? I mean, whatever gig that you had prior to was not kicking it. You took matters into your own hands. What brought you to that point?
A lot of thought before my 25th birthday. So normally every year before my birthday, because my birthday is in August. So like July 1 through July 31, I normally reflect a lot. I reflect a lot. I write a lot, pray a lot, all that good stuff. And I really look at, okay, India, what in your last year worked? Let's keep doing that. And what didn't necessarily work? And how can we pivot? And so I was at a point in my life where I was like, all right, India, you like your job, you don't love it, but you like it. Like, and this is the thing too, like, I think my entrepreneurial, my entrepreneurial journey is a little bit different. I didn't hate where I was in life. I liked my job, all that good stuff. No like major problems, I would say, but I just had this voice and it was like, there's gotta be more. And I remember this specifically, I had the same dream 3 days in a row. So God be talking to me in my dreams. I totally believe in the power of dreams. I believe like the more vivid they are for my personal dreams, the more they're going to come to pass in some way, shape, or form. And I had this same dream 3 days in a row. And I was I was on a meeting and I was supporting folks and they were going across the seas. And it was like I was helping somebody in London in one of the dreams. And then the next dream, it was somebody in America. And then the next dream, it was somebody in Canada. Very, very vivid. And I was like, all right, God, what does this mean? What does this mean? And so that's when I started researching. And that's when the thought had come in my head of virtual support. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? What does that look like? Like, is it scammy? Like, because I don't have time for it. And so that's when I started doing the research. And that's when I started going into overdrive. And then I came up with a plan. And I was like, okay, I think this is looking good. But I was like, let me pray on it to be sure. Because I needed some type of confirmation too. Like I had, like with my dreams, I have dreams. And then I wake up and I'm like, okay, was that a dream or what was that? But I needed confirmation. So after I pretty much got a confirmation from God, I was like, okay, all right. So how is this going to work with my regular job? Because if it fails, they want rent every month. So I still need to come up with the income.
Right.
And so that was when everything started. And so, yeah, it was probably like the month of my 25th birthday. And then I guess the rest is history. That sounded so cliche, but.
But that's what happened though. That's what happened. But
it was hard. It's not like, for all y'all out there thinking like it's easy to start a business or like follow your dream or do it. Actually, super hard, guys. If you guys didn't know that, because you have to literally rely on faith. Like you got to take a big leap and actually trust your gifts, your talents, your skills, and all those good things. And sometimes that's not easy. Like my first 2 quarters, I had like the biggest bout of imposter syndrome. I was like, girl, I don't know who you think you are. I don't know why you're doing this. But there was also that voice in the back of my head, but it was like, but you're doing it though. So just keep. And so that's kind of what has kept me going.
So with you starting your business, right? How effective was having a support system to kind of guide you and really build you up and give you that reference of mind, like don't give up?
Oh, extremely. I'm big on like having a village around you, because sometimes they hold you up when you can't hold yourself up. And so for me, I remember I told my sister, my twin sister, I told my big sister, I told my best friend. So I told them 3, those are like my 3, like those are my ace one boom coon partners. And they all were like, good job, boo. Like, that's what I'm talking about. And I was just like, really? Because I'm actually really, but they have been like the ones, and of course like my parents, all that good stuff, but like those are like my core support system. They've literally held me up. And when they tell me, oh no, I'm not gonna cry right now, whoa, that's really back. No, we're not doing that today.
Yep, yeah, we are.
Yeah, go ahead, let it out.
No, we good, but
show your appreciation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when they tell me things like, I'm so proud of you, or they just send me like prayers or affirmations and stuff like that, it's like they see me even when I don't say what I'm going through, like in my business or something like that. Because again, like it's not easy. And so like having that support system is so important. So because I know that they're for me, you know what I mean? Like even if, like God forbid, even if my business failed, they would still be for me just because they are that supportive and loving and caring about me. And that I'm just like, me? Little old me? Well, thank you. I'm grateful. So yeah, it's very important.
That's good. That's good.
That's really good.
So you started your business how long ago now? Because it's fairly relatively new, right? Or fairly relatively new.
Yeah, about a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say for real. I'll say for real, because I've been doing what I do. I'm 26. For real.
Wow, you're very young.
Oh, thank you. For real, not including my twin sister, I've seriously been doing content writing and assisting for people since I was like 19. So I've been doing it for a while, but I legitimize it as far as like paperwork, business account, all that type of stuff as like a year and a half ago.
Okay. Yeah, because word on the street is, people was paying you to do some work for them.
Oh, what streets? Oh,
I don't know what street. I stumbled upon some street and they was like, India Fordam, she be doing papers for the low, you feel me? Or used to somewhere.
Man, I wish you were around during my undergrad.
Streets for y'all. I mean, you can drive down the street, it's fine. But no, yeah, that's true. It really is true. And that's the thing too. I would do essay editing, I would do pre-writing, all that type of stuff, especially for a lot of undergrads. And then once again, my twin sister, she was overseas and she was like, I need your help, but you're not here. And I was like, well, I mean, if you email me the assignment, I should be able to look it over for you. And then we would have virtual sessions and things like that. And so that turned into, hey, I have a friend. And then, hey, I have a friend, and then have a friend. So a lot of my clients, especially my content clients, word of mouth referrals. And so they've been driving down my street. Ooh.
But that's dope though, because that means that your work is speaking for itself, right?
Absolutely.
And you're building this clientele without any promotion, right? It's just, hey, y'all need to hit up such and such. She is going to knock this joint out the park. You feel me?
That's the crazy part too. Like, because again, I told y'all, like, I'm a nerd. So like grades matter to me only because in the society in which we live, an A, heavy air quotes on that, reflects excellence, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, it would matter a lot to quote unquote get an A for these folks because they trusted me so much with my knowledge and skills. And I guess my expertise in writing and forming like a quote unquote essay, but never wanted them to think that they were less than or that they couldn't do it themselves. You just need a little bit extra support. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much my entire, my business kind of, I guess, motto, if you will. You can do it. It's just nice to have some support as well. And so that's where I come in to support you where you need support.
I'm going to be utilizing your services over the next years. So
absolutely.
I'm already sold. So I'm
too funny.
So speak about, you said you went to Baylor University, prestigious Baylor University. Speak about how that kind of shaped you and formed you into the person you are now.
Ooh, it was the first time I had to be a big girl for real. Because I'm a twin, right? So, and thankfully me and my twin sister we are again, ace boom coon. That's my first best friend. We shared an apartment, AKA the womb together. So we were always in the And so, senior year of high school comes around and we have two totally different paths. Like I've been college bound since to pre-kindergarten and she was military bound. So I was like, oh man, this means I got to go out. I got to be independent for real. I got to find my own friends. I got to make my own decisions. And on top of that, I didn't have my parents either. But at the same time, I actually found myself in being in that season of my life. So of course, college, a lot of things come with college, especially in the dynamic that you go. But for me, it really allowed myself to be like, okay, India, who are you outside of the shadow of your twin sister or your sisters or your parents? Who are you? And so I really started to like do some soul searching, some digging, find out where I like, find out what I didn't like. And so that was a really, really big time for me, just because I was like, girl, it's just you. I'm your roommate. God bless my roommates. But girl, it's just you for real. It's not It's not Brianna in India or Talaya in India or Aja in India. Those are my sisters, but it's just India. And so it forced me to step up basically and really become the young woman that my mentors and my mother and my parents had taught me to be.
Wow. So when you went to Baylor, did you get like a culture shock going to that university? Because like just explain the dynamic when you went there.
Yeah, a little bit. So this you want to know what the number one shock was to me, and it was so sad. I'm about to tell y'all about some like low-key covert racism, but anyways.
Oh shit.
I remember I was a freshman, and my dad had invited me to like this social gathering that he did, and but it was near Waco. And my dad was like, "This is my Baylor girl right here." And they go, "Oh my God, what sport do you play?" Let's take a timeout. Everybody time out. For all your listeners who can't see me, I'm gonna describe my body type, okay? Not skinny, okay? I'm not skinny. I'm a little what they call thick, quote, quote, these days. And I couldn't do sport. I'm not gonna say to save my life. I can swim to save my life. Basketball, I'm cheering. Football, I'm cheering. And I don't even mean a cheerleader. I mean in the stands. Like, so like off rip, like I don't look like an athlete, right? But the thing about it is every Black person that was at Baylor was like almost assumed to be an athlete because it's a PWI.
Wow.
I mean, like, oof, Lord Jesus, like it's crazy. Like it's crazy. Like the physical place on campus that we used to hang out was called Little Africa. Like because that's bye.
Wait, hold on. So wait, explain what PWI is, because you gave an acronym, but say what it is.
Oh, yes. So PWI is a predominantly white institution. And so that means that they were founded by Wahite people, and either they
And when and people listen, the Wahite does not. We're not talking about a native indigenous tribe. We're talking about white folks.
No, it's a different pronunciation of white, but no, the white people. So it normally means that it was definitely founded by white people. And then to take it a step further, they probably more than likely your average PWI just started accepting Black people in like 1950s, 1960s, right after the civil rights era. And so like the first Black Baylor graduate like just passed maybe like I want to say in the last decade.
Wow.
What?
They did not like the first Black graduate of Baylor University was like 1970 something. Like it was in the 70s. Oh yeah. Wow. But that's, I say that to say this. Those are the types of things that go through your head as you're experiencing a culture shock. People ask you what sport you play, even though you don't even freaking look like you play sports. Or they ask you, not why are you here, but like, why are you here? Every single Black person on campus. And in one way it's great because you build a community, right. All that, because it's about 300 of us out of 15,000. We have no option but to be united.
So
but, go ahead.
The percentage of Black people was probably less than 1% then.
More than likely. I want to say our actual, let me get to line. I've graduated like years ago, but I want to say it was like 8% of us. But get this, Matt, out of the 8%, I want to say it was like 4% were there for sports, right? So folks like myself who are strictly there for academics, 3 to 4% at best.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So like, honestly, like you can count so of course I'm probably the only Black person in my class, but in an auditorium style class of like 400 people, for like, intro to world oceans, you can see the sprinkle of Black people, and you have me, regular clothes, the one over there in not the soccer jersey, the basketball jersey, and the one over there in the football jersey. And it's like, hey guys, what's up? It's just us. But that becomes your normal. And so that was a shock to me only because even, I'm from California, we're a little more liberal out there, but also we're more mixed. Like even where I'm from, I'm from Black community, Black people, Asian people, Hispanic people and everything. But the people of color I saw at my undergraduate school, it was a little more of sprinkles, if you will. And they're working on it now as far as, bringing more people of diversity in there. But when I was there, like, I got asked like 2 times, oh, what sport do you play? I was like, the academic decathlon. Like, what do you expect? Do I even, I could do shot put because I'm thicker, but that's it. But other than that, as far as cultural shock, the South, that was a cultural shock too.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Like freely talking, hey, girl, you don't even know my name. You just saying hello. So that was a good thing too. So I mean, there were some like things about, you know, undergrad, but at the same time, the South, very nice people, very welcoming, that kind of thing. So Southern hospitality is a thing. So that was a big culture shock too.
So Baylor is in Texas, right?
It is.
Okay. Now, when you were, did they have the Divine Nine, the Black Greeks, sororities, fraternities?
So that's the one part about my bio that I didn't tell you. I'm a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. So to answer the question, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope.
Thank you. Yeah, that was like us. We made like a little mini pact to stay united too, like in the Greek community, because Greeks, sometimes the perception from non-Greek people is that we beefing all the time and our founders beefed, and not really. Actually, we're here for unity. And so at Baylor, again, that was less than 1% were Greek people. So yeah, we had a strong sense of unity while I was at school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cause did y'all have everybody there?
So we had, I'm trying to see, when I was here, we had alphas, AKAs, zetas, deltas. SG rows were coming as I was graduating. So like they made like the year after I graduated. And then we had, on the male side, we had, well, I already said alphas, we had sigmas, kappas, omegas through the grad chapter. And that was it. I want to get like 7 out of the 9.
Okay. That's not bad for it to be at a PWI.
It's not. And
that's a lot.
Yeah, we made history at the school too, just because it started with us. We were the first multicultural organization on the campus. But again, 1979. So once again, all this stuff for like Black people, multicultural people came way later. So yeah, we were chartered in 1979, and then everybody else came in like the 90s. So again, like these huge gaps of, you know, impact. But you know, when it was made, it pretty much stayed. So we had a lot of people, but you know, I mean, not down the street, but like down the highway, we have Prairie View and HBCU. We have like Jarvis, we have Wiley, you know, other HBCUs that we can connect with. And then we had other schools down 35, the highway that we live on, to also connect with as well.
So, you know, why did you not choose to go to an HBCU?
You know what? And this is another thing too, that I'm gonna make sure my children know about. I wasn't even educated about HBCUs. Like, I didn't know they were, y'all. I didn't know what they were. Like, I promise, like in the same vein of me not being educated about like Black movies and stuff, I did not know about HBCUs. So like, I just didn't know. Like, I was like, for me specifically, Harvard was pushed, Baylor was pushed, USC, UCLA, those big name, quote unquote, sweatshirt schools. They were always pushing me. So I was like, what is a Howard? What is a Prairie View? What is a Wiley? What is you know, I don't know what that is. And so, but also at the same time too, you know, geographically speaking, HBCUs stop at Texas. So if you don't have anybody in your family that is from the South and or HBCU life, if you're from like New Mexico and on, it's a toss-up if you really know about them or not. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say that, like, to your defense.
Oh yeah.
None of the HBC, you wasn't close to any of the HBCUs at all. And you're not the first person that I've met from somewhere on the West Coast where you know, they didn't know anything about HBCUs. Not to take away from, you know, their Black identity or anything like that, but they had no idea. And this, you know what I'm saying? If you was never raised in that culture,
absolutely,
you know, then it's like, all right, cool. But it's dope that they find out about it, you know, but not a lot of people know.
So you could have went to Harvard?
I didn't apply. But I wanted to, though, actually. I wanted to just to say I got in. Like, just to be like, I got in.
Wow, that's amazing.
But no, I didn't apply. I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. But at this time, I had already fallen.
Yeah, you definitely could have got in.
But at this time, I had already fallen in love with my school. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to this school or nothing else. And so, yeah. All
right. So let me hit you with this question, right? Because one of the episodes, especially when me and Joe was talking about, you know, interracial stuff, we brought up a lot of different terms like tokenism, you know, bedwench and all that other stuff. Did you experience tokenism while you were at PWI, Baylor University?
Yeah. So tokenism being, you asked me because I'm the only Black person in class.
Yeah.
Yes, all the time. Not all the time. I would say a good 30%. So here's the thing about me. So I'm a girl, obviously. I'm a Black woman, right? The number one thing I always got asked about, hair.
Wow.
So your hair grew. I pressed it. Oh my God. No, you cannot touch my hair. I am not a museum artifact. You can't.
Wow.
Your greasy fingers in my hair. I can't lie. That's a pet peeve. Like, you don't see me asking to touch your hair. Why are you touching my hair? Like, and no, but the thing about it is, and I will say, Southern people, God love you. Y'all are bold. Y'all will just go, oh my God, look, and you'll reach your hand out and put your fingers in my hair. That don't work.
Are you they touching the crown?
The crown. Come on, my Solange don't touch my crown. Like, oh yeah. I had a girl at work. I was at work. She was like, "Oh my God, look at your hair!" And I was like, "Oh, look at it!" And I had to duck, weave, and dodge her. But I would say that's probably, as far as like tokenism goes, they would ask me definitely about my hair, hairstyles, why Black women do what we do, and I'm like, quite frankly, because we're dope and our hair has the ability to shit up. You feel me? So, but you know, and this is the interesting thing too, especially when it comes to like interracial dating. I would have a lot of white men ask me, what is that with your hair? What is that? I like it when y'all do this, but it confuses me when y'all do that. What is that? And this is the thing about it too, because I don't know, my therapist says it's a gift, but I have the ability to connect with a lot of different people. And so that being said, people tell me about their lives and their innermost thoughts, which is fine. But the white men,
I know where this is going.
You know, so the white men who asked me about my hair, it was because they had an interest in dating Black women. They just didn't know how to either say it, they didn't know how to approach the situation, and also, and this one too. Let me calm down. Let's talk about this. I'm very joyful, right? I'm, your Lord's my strength, thankfully, but they would ask me about the quote unquote angry Black woman syndrome. He would ask me, like, is it true?
They would ask about that?
Baby, yes. Oh, yes. Like, and again, like, this is my thing with tokenism and just crossing racial lines in general. I'm always open to have the conversation if you want to be educated.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
I'm down for that. I will educate you on why I want to twist my hair one day and take it down, or why I'm offended when you say the N-word in a song. Don't say that. Like, don't do that. But it's because if I can tell your spirit is that you actually want to learn about our culture so you can understand us better, and then treat me with respect, equality, and offer me the same opportunities, we can talk all day. But if you're going to be malicious, I'm just going to ignore you all day. I'm not going to ignore you, but I'm going to, what does my grandmama say? I'm gonna be nice, nasty to you. So I'm gonna tell you about it, but I'm gonna tell you about yourself and why you shouldn't ask me that question. So but I had these white men, to go back to what I was saying, I had these white men ask me about women, Black women, and how we are, because the stereotypes are that, change our hair all the time, we buy all this weave and all sorts of type of stuff, and that we're angry and attitudes. And I'm like, actually, we be joyful all the time. Like, we be joyful, we be happy. We love life just like you love life. And if we want to switch our hair, we want to switch our hair. And if we want to do this, we want to do that. But I would get those cultural questions because I was the only Black person in sight, or in a radius. And on top of that, not all of us are playing sports, guys. Some of us are just here because we like math. Like, that's the thing too. Like, you watch the game? Nope, I don't even watch it.
And it's crazy that you're talking about this. I got a slight anecdote to talk about real quick. So I work in law enforcement, and one of my guys, he's a good friend. I mean, he's not like, his questions weren't malicious or whatever. He really just didn't know. Like, he was asking me like about Black Lives Matter and all this stuff, and I just had to like really sit down with him, close my office door, and really have a conversation with him about it. I'm like, you gotta understand where this organization is coming from and what they're fighting for. Like, you have to really kind of see from their eyes. Just because the media is portraying them in a certain light doesn't mean that's the correct way to portray them. I was like, I'm gonna brief you on a little history right here. Here, look at what they're fighting for. They're fighting for, police brutality, equal rights, those type of things that we still have to fight for to this day. Like Deontay Wilder, to this day, like, this stuff is still going on. So I think it's good to have those type of conversations with people, of different races, because, to be honest, white folks they don't know, but then they play these games like they don't know, but they really do need to be educated on these certain topics.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like, and that's the thing about it too, because the kind of funny, but you can tell the tone of their voice if they're being condescending or not.
Absolutely.
Like I had a coworker, she actually, when a lot of the stuff in 2020 was happening with the riots and things like that, she texted me and she was like, if I've ever made you feel anything other than a human being, like respected, like I apologize. And thankfully she was good. So I was like, but again, she opened herself up to learn. I was like, I can appreciate and respect that wholeheartedly. But there are some people who they act like bedwench isn't a bad word, or they act like black facing isn't bad. And it's like, no, those are not, it's not cool. Don't do that. And so, yeah, that's the biggest thing about having the conversation. Like I will talk to you and let you know why you can't say that. Like, don't do that or don't say that. Like just like in a faith-based act, like you don't do that to Islamic people. You don't do that to Buddhists. You don't
Absolutely.
do that, like in the same like vein of respect, like we should be able to coexist in a respectful manner. And especially in the place of all places, heavy air quotes, on a melting pot that America is supposed to be, this should be the ground for those conversations, that respect and that coexistence. But we find that this is actually it's an interesting place where it doesn't always happen.
Yeah, it's super interesting, right? Like, yeah, you're right. America should be the country where integrating races and, being multicultural
Right.
is, the progressive thing to do in America, right? Or it should be, all over the world.
Right.
But, it's like on the opposite spectrum of it. Like, we was talking about it before. We get more love overseas for being a black man or a black woman than we do in the States.
Wow.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's really noticeable, and you feel it. Like it's like for example, I went home. I flew back to the States.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the first after the first 6-7 months that I was in Spain, right? My sister was graduating high school, so I flew back home. But I got so used to being out in Spain, like the feeling of being able to walk down the street and not have to look over my shoulder or worry about the police messing with me or getting behind me while I'm driving or something, and just, little stuff like that. I didn't have to worry about people looking at me funny because I am a black man. The only time I did feel weird is when they would look and like more of like in awe, in a sense, like, wow, like that's a black American, like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But when I flew back to the States, as soon as I got off the plane, I lie to you not, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh shit, I'm back at home. Now I have to be on my toes.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a terrible feeling to have, you know what I'm saying? Just to come back to, where you're from. Mm-hmm. And that's the first thing that came to my mind, at least. I can't speak for everybody else, but you would think that I'm like, all right, cool. I'm home. I get to go see my family now. No, the first thing that I thought about was police and me being back in America as a black dude.
Sheesh.
So yeah.
Imagine. I could only imagine, just because. I mean, it's different for us because I feel like we fear for different things as women than y'all do as men, So it's like fear is fear, but it's like what you fear is so different, especially in the socio-political climate that we live in.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Just hear that, like I feel like I really, really do, because Lord Jesus, that's wild. And the thing about it is, I thought that was a myth, like how we apparently get more love like when we're gone or whatever, whether it's overseas or to another country or city or what have you. I didn't know that was real. And I thought that I actually thought that was just like a myth, not a myth, but yeah, like a myth basically, actually, when you go to places like Asia, like apparently like they don't see Black people often. So they're like, can I take a picture with you? Can I take a picture with you? And I've heard that. I've only experienced that once, but that was because I was at a conference and folks from Japan had come over here. Mm-hmm. And can I take a picture with you? Like, and I was again in a room full of white people and they wanted to take a picture with me. And I was like, me? And they're like, but again, like that, I'm fine with. Like, I don't know those people. I have their email, but God bless them. But again, I got to be a part of exposing you to something new. Like, that's super cool to me. But yeah, I just, when it comes to the actual fear of like being your own skin, like sometimes that's a real thing, and that is just sometimes unimaginable, but it's real.
Yeah, definitely real. But hey, that's one of those things that I think that everybody has to pretty much work out in their life, right? Like I don't like racism and all that stuff, being biased. I feel like those things are taught, and that's what's, absorbed into any person's mind at a young age, right? And it's on the parents to, teach their child, the right and wrong way to treat somebody that doesn't look like them, because it's only, if we're being honest, it's only one race, and that's the human race, right? And I feel like me and you had a conversation about that before.
You and Matt, or me and you?
Me and you.
I was talking about.
When we was in Texas, I think we had touched on something like that. I don't think it was for long. Mm-hmm. Anyways, yes. So like I was saying, it's only one race, right? And that's the human race. The world would be so much more better if everybody worked together, right? Like imagine if everybody got along. Everybody got along.
That'll never happen.
But Matt, just imagine, you know what I'm saying?
Do you believe that the world benefits from conflict?
Absolutely. If there was no conflict, there would be no money. Because you got to look at it, right? Mm-hmm. If we were all able to, like the 99%, regardless of race, right? We all able to kind of get together and just say we're gonna stop this. The 1% would have a fit, because we're not doing what they need us to do, which is work, be mindless drones, and continue this life. You know what I mean? Don't go into entrepreneurship, continue to work. Our money goes to paying the government, whatever the case may be. Yeah. I think it's just, we're at this point where it's just like, as Black people, right? I don't think I can just neglect 400 years of slavery and neglect, race riots, and neglect KKK and the injustices that's been brought upon us all this time. I just can't let that go. Maybe that's just me being me, but it's just something where it's like, they've had so much time to advance and prepare, and it's just like we're still like way, way, way back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget when, I had this one professor that for my graduate class, and he told me, and I asked him, I say, do you think, what is your thoughts on integration, right? And with the civil rights and everything. He said integration killed the Black man. And the reason being why he said that, right, is because if you look at it, during that time, if you were in your own Black community, you were able to build your businesses and everything like that. You would support your community. Now, if you integrate, the dominant society is going to take that one popular Black man, that intellectual, that intelligent Black man, pluck him from his society and put them in their society where he can commingle and everything. He's going to forget about his hood, his ghetto, his environment. He's going to go live in their environment, in their suburbia, and then just continue to make them money and continue to work for them. So that's how I think my thinking is. And it's, to me, I'm like, I don't know. I just don't think we can get to a point where everybody is commingling to, there's no racism, no hate, because it's just, I just don't think it'll ever happen.
No, it won't.
So are you familiar with what are they called? Oh, like Pan-Africanism and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts on the idea of like, we need to have our own banks, basically a Tulsa, except Tulsa's everywhere?
No, I agree. I think as Black people, I think we do need to do something like that, but I just don't think, and I don't like talking bad about our folks, man, but I just don't think our mindset is there yet.
Okay.
Because if you look at, I'm from New York. I'm from Spring Valley, New York, right? Every time I always go back, and because I still got family there, you know what I mean? And I just look, and they have a strong, if you guys know what Hasidic Jews are, right? Have you guys seen a Hasidic Jew, like a Orthodox Jewish person? They wear the garments, they have the curly sideburns or whatever. Mm-hmm. They're very resourceful, and they own, half of, or even more, majority of Spring Valley Village in New York. And what they do is they keep the money and they keep the buildings to their kind. They don't allow.
I heard that huge in New York.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Spring Valley is made up, majority Haitian, which is me, and then the majority Jewish and Spanish, like Mexican and Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. But the Jewish people, they have waited so long. Now they own a lot of the new property. They own a lot of the new developments that's happening in the community, and it's like, it's going to be a point in time where they're like forcing the Haitians out because they're going to skyrocket the price, like gentrification, and it's going to allow them to own that area, own that whole area, because they keep everything in house.
Right.
Like
right.
I'll never forget this. And my wife, she's Filipino, right? Mm-hmm. Her mom was looking for like a new doctor, right? And then she was like, "Oh, why don't you go to this doctor, whatever?" She's like, "Nah, I got to go to a Filipino doctor." And it's like, it's still that same thinking. Like we will never get to that point in time where we just keep everything Black.
Doctors, Black, yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's just crazy because we're the biggest consumer of everything, and we never can put that money into, Black items or Black things, because there's not really a lot. Like you can't find a Black grocery store around here. That'd be pretty difficult to find, right? Because I don't know if you guys you ever watched Killer Mike did a special on Netflix.
Trigger warning.
Yeah, right. Where he was just.
Was it good?
No, it was really good. Have you watched it, India? Or you haven't watched it?
I haven't watched it, but I heard there's like a whole Netflix list I have that I got to get to it. I got to do it. So
you got a lot of catching up to do.
I do. It's a lot.
just to give a quick little synopsis of an episode, he had where he had to, like, 24 hours. He just had to buy Blaq. Like he couldn't ride the bus unless it was a Black-owned bus company. He couldn't, buy food unless it was from Black-owned store. It was a lot of things, and he was very challenged in that because, and he was in Atlanta. Was he in Atlanta?
Yeah, he was in Atlanta. Yeah.
So from Atlanta or like something in Georgia or something like that.
Yeah, and that's the Black Mecca. So that was even difficult for him to find those type of resources in that community. So imagine trying to find it in Delaware or wherever, trying to just find all those communities that are just relatively available for Black folks. It's very difficult.
It's not going to happen.
So I think it'll take time. I think people are starting to wake up a little bit more, but I think it takes a collective. Like every time they always talk about, when they're campaigning, they always say, yeah, we need to pick a candidate that's for Black folks. And look at this, look at the dumb-ish, people voted for Sleepy Joe, and look what Sleepy Joe's doing. You know what I mean? And then Sleepy Joe even said out his mouth on the Breakfast Club, if you don't vote for me, you're not Black. How's a white man gonna tell me? How's a white man gonna tell me I'm not Black? That don't even make sense. And then the Breakfast Club, they're eating it up like, oh yeah, Sleepy Joe, that's right. Yeah, like
what happened?
Come on, man.
Okay, because I'm a communications major. I thankfully I use my degree almost every day.
but if going with the communications part, that's great media, and that's great. That's a great clickbait thing to talk about, because then it gets people to say, like, think about, like, if Charlamagne the God and Sleepy Joe and Angela Lee and DJ Envy are saying that if I don't vote for him, I'm not Black, I gotta vote for Sleepy Joe.
It's an interesting thing, just because because I heard about that, and then of course, like, Breakfast Club, I like the Breakfast Club, and so they do think pieces, talk pieces on it, and so first of all, like again from a communications marketing perspective, his campaign manager, I'm like, okay, I think we should do a little bit more press junket training, because like the Olivia Pope in me was like, I love me some Scandal. That's my show right there. I will watch it to this day. But really and truly, like when it comes to politics, because it's such a game, the stuff you say will either be used against you or for you, or it'll be saved for later. Like it's literally for you, against you, or saved. And so when he said that, I was like, that to me, that was, I'm not gonna say it was equivalent, but do y'all remember when Hillary Clinton on Breakfast Club was like, I got hot sauce in my bag?
Hot sauce.
I was like, now see, that's what you
get. She said what she had?
She had hot sauce in her bag. So
what, she get that from Beyonce?
Yeah. So the same time that Hillary Clinton was running for office was when Formation was popular. So
okay.
For copywriting reasons, I won't sing it, but I got hot sauce in my bag swag. And so she was like, I got hot sauce in my bag. Why would you, Hillary?
And this is the problem with Black folks. Like, they eat up those little tidbits or popular celebrities endorsing, when it's like, this celebrity makes $40 million. Whatever this lawmaker puts in effect, that is not going to change their life at all. So I think as a collective, we need to pull our money and put it into the correct candidate, because every other community does it. LGBTQ community, they're very good at putting money into a candidate that's going to enforce the laws that respectively is going to help aid them. Asian community is very good at that. Latino community is very good at that. They always do that with a person they're going to back. Black people, they will never do that, and they never have, and they never will. And I don't know what the hell it is about. But every candidate I've always seen, they never push. And I love Barack Obama. I'm about to just go on a rant. I love Barack Obama. But god damn, that man did not do a thing for Black folks. And I swear to Bob, that's the one thing that they're gonna say, well, we gave y'all a Black president. I mean, he ain't do nothing for y'all. What y'all think we're gonna do for you? Nothing.
Well, the interesting thing is, and I try to, politics they're difficult in general, but I try to be aware of what's going on. I think what people sometimes miss is that your local laws actually affect you more than
the presidential. Yep. Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, like president, like because of the shape of our government, right? Executive, judicial,
legislative.
Thank you. Those branches, like they're formed or whatever. At the same time, the Constitution, I want to say it's not the Constitution. The other legal documents of America, they have the same thing on a state level. And so the thing about it is, like, again, your local and state and municipal laws affect you quite literally more. Like that's the thing about hold on. That's the thing about, I'm gonna use the word that's not gonna get you bent. That's the thing about the Apple laws right now. You get what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Apple. Yeah. That's the thing with Texas. We're dealing with laws about apples, right? And if you want to have your green apples or not have your green apples. And so that's the thing about it. It's like that would affect me as a woman living in the state of Texas more than President Biden saying, I don't know, who I'm trying to think. I feel like I saw the news this morning when he was saying something about the Spirit Airlines. Does that make sense where I'm going?
If
I say Spirit Airlines, do you know the other airline that's better than Spirit Airlines?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Where I'm going. Sorry, yes. I'm trying to not use words that y'all don't get flagged. So
I got you.
You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, if I go to my local store or local bank or whatever have you, those laws will affect me more. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Black community, or just communities in general, like again, like they have nationalistic pride with themselves, like Filipino people, Chinese people, Japanese people, the Hispanic community. Are you kidding me? Like, love them for their unity. Like they will love each other thick and thin and be passionate about it. But with us, it's like, I think we get so nationalistic that we forget that like it can start in your communities, which is why things like Tulsa were so successful pre-bombing, because of the unity that we had within just the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like just think about Tulsa, and then you look at like Atlanta. Atlanta's getting better, but again, you look at those Black meccas that exist, and it's because you're making change in your own communities. And it's like, imagine that on a magnified level, it would be better. But Matt, I see your point too, where it takes a big collective of people to do that, and it takes a generational collective to do that, and that's the difficult part for us now.
And I think, they always say like Black people, we're the most consumers in everything. Like we buy up everything when it comes to sneakers, clothing. Like we spend billions of dollars. Now if we were to say F those big companies like Nike, Gucci, all those companies, right, that are not Black owned or anything like that, they'd be losing a lot of money. They need us. We don't need. That's the thing. We don't need them.
Yeah, I think like 6 hours, the Black dollar circulates for like 6 hours, I want to say it is.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's like 14 days for our white counterparts, I want to say. And it's like, dang, we money for nothing. Like, what? I don't understand.
It's just mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing sometimes. We look at the numbers, you look at the statistics, and it's just like, we really are a powerful group of people, a powerful race, but we don't know how to utilize our power in an effective way.
Yeah, I mean, we're only 13% in the country, but we're a very, very strong 13%. Yeah. That's why even going back to President Biden's election, like they needed the Black vote to get him in, because other than that, it was President Trump again. And then if you actually look at the statistics, like I don't know if y'all remember, but like Georgia really made that happen. But who lives in Georgia? Black people. There are of course like white counties, and that's why it's been such a statistically and historically blue. Blue state, blue state. I want to say it is. Black people. So it's like we really have an impact with our numbers and things like that, even though we're looked at as a minority. But it's just how we like sometimes irritating. It's like, guys, we don't have to have all the Jordans all the time. Like,
don't get me started on politics now, because I'll go forever on that.
So look, I'm low key. I'm not gonna say I'm apolitical, but again, I like to stay politically informed. I don't like to claim a side or anything like that. I just like to be informed. outside world, but oh yes.
I always tell people, like, when it comes to politics, vote. Don't look at like Republican, Democrat. Vote for whoever fits your morals and whoever fits your bill and whoever's gonna fight for whatever you need to be done. You know what I mean? Because when you stay to that one Democrat, Republican, or whatever the case may be, then it's kind of like if they start doing things you don't like, then it's like, all right, dang, I gotta back this candidate the whole way, but they're doing things I'm not comfortable with. So,
most definitely.
So India, what's a typical work day for you? Like, what's a typical day in the life of India?
Ooh, typical day in the life of me. So, wake up early for sure. I started this new thing. Jesus, help me. I started this new thing where I'm waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa.
First of all,
no, but that's good. That's good discipline. That's good discipline.
And that's what it's for, right? So again, so it's so interesting. So July is my personal reflection month because my birthday is in August, but then November is my personal, it's my business reflection time. So I look at, like, I do literally a strategy planning for myself. I go to a hotel, I put up poster boards, all that good stuff, and think. But I kind of started pre-implementing some of the things that I know I wanted for the new year, right? Because I don't do the January resolutions thing. I don't do that. But anyways, I started waking up between 5 and 5:30 in the morning. And then after that, so I wake up, pray, do my verse of the day, all that good stuff, do my affirmations. And then I get my cup of coffee because I need Jesus and coffee in the morning.
Amen to that.
Be pretty if I don't have no coffee. But no, and then after that, I look at my time box for the day. So when it comes to my clients, I pretty much look at what's upcoming due, what's due that day, and then what meetings I have. And so I just make sure that I'm prepared for those meetings and make sure I've done my part as far as the prep goes. And then I also have just time blocks throughout the day of when I have to do items. And so with the three main things I do for my clients are travel bookings, content writing a lot, and then I do like just general admin stuff like answering emails, FAQs, stuff like that. So I pretty much plan my day around like the peak times I know folks are going to contact me. And then I do my writing times in the afternoons just because I feel that inspired and everything. And so, yeah, in between that, I'm trying to think. In between that, I'm probably listening to a podcast or something like that. I definitely have my little study music going on too. And then after work, I chill. I'm cooking at home more, way more, which is nice. And then depending on if I have rehearsal or not, I'll go to a rehearsal or something like that. But other than that, just relax myself and just decompress, read a book, all that good stuff. So that's kind of like a day in the life of me. That's like the short version.
Wow. So what podcast do you listen to? Do you listen to like motivational podcasts or just anything?
Yeah, so it depends on the category. So like literally I have my love and relationships podcast, my comedy podcast, my business podcast, and then my spiritual podcast. So which is normally like either it's either a podcast or a sermon. So depending on my mood for the day or what I need, that I feel I need, then I'll listen to it. So like I love Kev on Stage and stuff like that. So if I need a good laugh, I'll listen to his stuff. Or if I need inspiration, I'll listen to a TED Talk or something like that.
Yeah, TED Talks are amazing.
Love TED Talks. Yeah. It's one of my dreams to go to a TED Talk conference too. Like
they usually do them in California.
Yeah, I want to go to one so bad. Like I just want ideas and inventions. I love that. Or innovation. I love that. And then I listen for, as far as like business podcasts and stuff like that. It's definitely like how to do finances in your business, because that's one area of my business that I'm still learning now, like as far as like quarterly taxes and annual taxes and, how to basically systematize my financial part of my business and stuff like that. And then of course, like just how to become a better content writer and things like that. So it's like either a lesson or it's a podcast on how to do things better in my business. And then as far as motivation, I love a good, what's that? I think it's called Girl Stop Apologizing, like books like that, that, and just in life and all that good stuff. So it really depends on the day, because I don't like to stick to one thing,
Right. Yeah. I like that.
So on the business side, right? Like, what's next? I mean, you have you have your own, your own business now, right? Your consultation services, if you may, right? What is going to be next for Miss India? I mean, do you plan on having, folks working under you, or, you know what I mean? Like have some assistants, like, look, girl, I'm a little swamped today. I need you to do Johnny Appleseed's, resume, and you know what I'm saying? How does that, what's next? What's going on?
I would like to. So there are a couple certifications like in my industry that I want to get. So I want to become like a certified project manager and a certified OBM, which is online business manager. Yeah, definitely do that and branch into that. Do I want to have a team? I want to have a team, but I don't think it would be a big team because I like to keep my services so personalized and you feel like you have access to me, you know, within business hours and all that good stuff. I would say probably a team of like 2 or 3 just to like manage client workflow and stuff like that. And then trying to think what else. Oh, and then just as far as like my brand, I want to expand my blog. I currently have a blog right now, and then also expand my YouTube channel as well. So I would say those are like my immediate things, like in the next 1 to 3 years that I really want to expand upon.
Okay, so what's on your YouTube channel? What do you putting out?
What do you do?
This world.
Okay, so it's 2 parts. So it's a lifestyle channel. So it's really travel and lifestyle channel. I'll say it like that. So in my dream world, I would be doing like talk back style videos, pretty much like this, either with guests or just, you know, whatever's going on in the world, like talk back style, like 15 and 20-minute videos. But I would be either like, I don't know, just talking back, like just like this, or like, let me know what y'all think in the comments and stuff like that. Or I would be doing like a get ready with me type thing. But here's the thing about it though. I am a makeup girl. Don't get me wrong. I am a girly girl. Like today I didn't wear makeup, but I normally boom it up. But I'm not a makeup beauty guru channel. But I would do a get ready with me, but really listen to what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So sure. I would do that. But then also what I'm currently doing now, which I really want to expand upon, is actually travel vlogs. So I love the travel. Like that's one of like my first loves ever. And I think that travel is a beautiful privilege that I don't take for granted because I know that it really is a privilege. So I would definitely do more travel vlogs and stuff like that. So that's currently what's on my channel. I'm going to Spain. I'm going to Spain. I went on a cruise. That was fun. I vlogged that. And then I just uploaded a video last week about my travel solo vlog to Chicago. So that was cool too.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna have to tap into that because I was just talking to somebody about how I've never really explored the Midwest like that, especially a place like Chicago or Detroit. What happened?
Oh no, Chicago's amazing.
Yeah, I want to see it. Hey, I really want to see, you know, because I don't like being in the city, period. All right. But, you know, if I do have to go, I want to do, a good bit of sightseeing and then, you know, get me out of there.
Such a southerner.
Yeah, get me out of there, bro.
You can tell. And it's so funny because I like a mix of both. And I think that's the thing that I guess makes my YouTube channel different. Like I'm not a clubber, like I'm not boring, don't get me wrong. If I'm at a club, it's because it's somebody's birthday. And I only got about 6 good friends in life. So you probably see me at a club about 5-6 times a year. So for me, I actually want to see a city for what it is. I like museum tours as long as you allow me to film in there. Other than that, I respect the privacy of the place. But I like libraries, I like architecture, I like things that made the city what it is. And I love that when you go different places, there are some things you're not going to find anywhere else. And I just love that aspect of it. So that's the type of things I want to capture on my channel as I make memories for myself and then decide to share them with the world, you know. But no, Chicago is fantastic. I've been there twice and I actually got to see both the city and like the suburbs and stuff like that too.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Did you go to Blaq?
No, I didn't. So here's the thing about Chicago I'm learning. I need to go back there multiple times because I still haven't had Harold's Chicken. Haven't had that still.
I heard it's fire.
I have not been Millennium Park. I'm halfway line. So I went to Millennium Park, but it was at nighttime and it was, this was like COVID was like the world was kind of opening back up. So Millennium Park was closed. So I went to the place, but I couldn't physically walk up. So I was like, well, I guess I went, but I didn't get the little bean picture, nothing like that. So I got to go back to Chicago again just for other sightseeing because there's a lot to see. Y'all look here. I be having like moments. I'd be like, wait a minute, but go ahead. You were saying?
It's that English that you're a minor in English. That's what's happening.
Word.
I need you to know the difference between your, and your, there, which, where, and where.
What's the difference?
No, I mean, like, you know, when somebody texts you and they're saying you're going to the store and they use YOUR instead of YOU apostrophe RE. Oh, I have to autocorrect in my head. It's just bothersome. Wow. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm a huge stickler for grammar too.
You know what? I'm a little bit of a grammar police officer myself.
I hate those type of people.
Yeah, because I be getting on his ass sometimes.
We're cool with each other.
Now I vibe with you. I love your energy, but it's like and I'm sorry, Smoove, for cutting you off, but like when I'm texting somebody, I'm not writing a dissertation or I am texting you just informal stuff. Like,
hold on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You go.
Okay. If I'm texting you, I'm very informal. Like,
okay.
You're like, yo, bro, what's going on? What's good with you? Da 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 da. Yo, bro, you forgot to put a comma after yo, and you forgot to put the period. Like,
because I want clarity,
bro. And he's that type of dude too. He's that type of dude because you'll text him if you misspell one word, he's on your ass.
That's okay. All right.
I like when reading something that flows. Like I like to understand. I'm a reader.
Like I'll send him. I'll text him. He'll be like, buddy, hey buddy, I'm gonna need you to go back and just recheck that real quick. I'm like,
okay. So let me ask you this: do you use voice messages? Like, do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
So do you use the voice messages on your iPhone?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say, in my experience, folks who aren't as grammar savvy just use the voice message instead. But Jay, you might be worse than me because you know the only person in the world who I correct, and I love you if you're listening, my twin sister. Anything in my catalyst, but we do that for each other. And when I was when we were in high school and we got our phones, we thought we was cool with our flip phones. Oh, you couldn't tell us nothing. But she would misspell. I would put an asterisk, THIRE. Is that what you meant? And she'd be like, "Stop freaking doing that to me." And I like, and I would say, if you're not going to talk to me correctly, you can just not talk to me at all. And that was
hilarious.
My grandma, she'd be like, you know what, and she wouldn't talk to me for half a day, and then she'd be like,
see, that's why she had to put you to work on them papers.
She did. She would get mad at me for like something like that, and then not talk to me for like 2 hours or whatever because we never had any real beef.
Wow, so petty.
Oh, petty. Then she'd be like, "Did you finish my paper?" I'd be like, "Oh, your paper is due tomorrow."
So wait, who's your twin sister?
So my twin sister is a lovely young woman named Talaya, and she's fantastic. She happens to be related to 2 out of 3 people on this.
Yeah.
On this podcast, but yeah, no, it was bad with her. She'd be like, "Did you finish that paper?" And I'd be like, it's correctly grammatized too." So yeah, no, I will say I'm not like Jay though. I don't do the asterisk no more. And I don't do that just yet. But I am secretly like, why are they using the wrong the wrong there? Were going, not we were going. Oh yeah, I'm secretly like.
But you know what? I do it because I expect excellence out of them. That's what I want. All right. I want y'all to always be on y'all game, right? You never know when somebody might pull up on you. Hey, look, cuz I need you to type this paper up. And if you do this, grammar free, 100 grand right there. Bruh, I'm training.
That's never happened. It's never happening.
I'm training y'all.
I'm gonna be honest, right?
I support the spirit in which you come.
Yeah, I don't, because I had enough of writing and all that. I went to graduate school, so writing. Masters of Science in Administration of Justice.
And then what'd you do your dissertation on?
We didn't have to do a dissertation.
Oh, you did a capstone?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. We didn't have to do a dissertation, but I will say that that was a lot of writing in my life, and even me, I'm pondering law school, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do that much writing, man.
Because 1L is all reading, writing.
Yeah.
That's like the weeded out year or whatever. But law school. What kind of law do you think you want to practice?
Probably criminal.
Ooh,
criminal law. I think I'd be a good defense attorney, public defender.
Now another I love that type of stuff. Go ahead.
Nah, because the crazy thing is, because it's like at the job I do, like I work in probation, so we argue with public defenders all the time because we're arguing on behalf of the state because we're submitting a violation, and I like that. I like that banter back and forth, and I like that. I like the argument and then trying to bring up evidence and everything like that. I like that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been recently doing this thing with my dad specifically because I am like my father. We talk a lot, guilty. But when it comes to like strict, direct answers, I literally go, counsel, it's a yes or no question. And then I ask my question. He'll go, Brown, say, objection, relevance. And he'll get back to the point. That means dad, get back to the picture. And so now I find that I use that all the time, like objection, relevance. And if it's not relevant, we just go on from there.
Wow. It sounds like y'all have an amazing relationship.
I mean, it's developed years, thank Jesus. But it's been a journey, but we're definitely at the mentorship part of parenting, you know, as opposed to the do what I tell you to do part of parenting. But that took a lot. Like, I mean, the past, like Corona taught us how to have a good like father-daughter relationship, because at that time I was like 24 and he was still like, what are you doing? Who you like? I'm like, Dad. And I really was like, Dad, stop. Like, you gotta chill on that. Like, first of all, like, I'm not 12 anymore. Like, I know you see me as 12 years old forever. And at the root of that, that's pure and cute and that's fantastic. But at the same time, how can you respect me for the young woman I'm becoming if you don't see me as the young woman I'm becoming? I'm trying to become great. And on top of that, I'm trying to become the young woman you taught me to be. So how can you get mad at me for blossoming when you planted the seed? And he just looked at me and I was like, yeah, I got you, didn't I? And he was like, and that pretty much not shut him up, but that started the transformation. And so now he's a little more apt to have conversations. And I'm like, Dad, like, sometimes I need to consult with you. Sometimes I want to talk with you. And sometimes I need direction, but sometimes you gotta let me figure out as the adult I'm trying to be. And so, yeah, now we cool, we cool in the other side of the fam. But for a long time, it was like, what I say? And I'm like, I'm not gonna.
God, I hope I don't come that father if I have a daughter.
I mean, and the thing about it too, I feel like father-daughter relationships this is why they're so important, especially in the Black community, but because that's the first relationship you have with a man, like ever. Yeah. Like, so how he treats you, like, it's gonna set the tone or set the bar, if you will. And you're pretty much that's the first viewpoint of a man as a girl. So it's like, my dad, like, he my ace boon coon. So thankfully, like, the men that I like whoever my guy out there is, like my husband or whatever, then he would have to have some character traits of my father because of the high regard that I have for my father. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that's just come from our relationship now. But yeah, it took a minute. And now it's trickling down to the other girls, because I guess I was the guinea pig for all four of my sisters. And now he starts treating them differently because of what we talked about. But we had a huge heart-to-heart, like, it was like smack dab middle of COVID, and we had nowhere else to go but your room, my room, living room. Right. And we had a huge talk, and I was just like, Dad, like, our relationship has been weird because of the way you treat me and because of the way you see me. Like, you can't put me in a box. Like, you see me in this box and you can't do that. Like, who I show you is who I am today. And on top of that, I don't need you making your own perceptions of who you think I am, because I'll tell you who I am. Like, that's like, my dad thought I was just out. Now, I don't even know why he thought that. Like, probably because I sing background vocals and I gig sometimes, like, I'm staying out late when it's like, Dad, the show didn't start till 9 o'clock. Do you expect me to be home at 9:30? But I had to explain to him. I was just like, Dad, first of all, you were doing the same thing, because the thing about it is, all the things that I've done, my dad did. My dad was a sound guy, and he plays bass, and he plays keys. Like, music runs in our family. So I'm like, Dad, how are you gonna be like, you need to be in the house at a certain hour? I'm gigging. That's the same thing you did before you had me. Like, Daddy, come on now. And so when we actually had those heart to hearts, and it was a series of conversations, it actually got us very much so closer. And so I'm grateful for that now.
Wow. So let me spice it up a little bit, right? So you said that your father you're gonna want some traits for him, for the man that you potentially see as a suitor.
Absolutely.
So what traits are you looking for in a man? What do you want him to bring to the table? Like, those type of things. If you are looking, or, just asking just to ask,
Not Jay getting spiced up like, what's good? No, I would say God-fearing for sure. Like, on a faith base, I need us to have the same beliefs, just because foundationally, like, I need us to be on the same foundation. Leadership. My dad he's a leader. Like, he's a leader. You can't take that from him. Like, he's a leader. Like, just in every aspect of his life, he's a leader. So I would say that for sure. And I would say, vulnerability, actually, is something that's
really,
yes, because y'all men be putting up this front. Y'all be
no. This is where we disagree right here.
Matt, don't say no, because you can't speak for every man. Understand?
Well, no. Well, let's speak in generalities, though. I'm speaking in generality. I'm not speaking for the minority.
Vulnerability.
So wait, hold on. So
you think a lot more men are like vulnerable these days, like opening themselves up to females?
No. So why I'm saying no, right? Because when do you want your man to be vulnerable to you? Do you want him to be vulnerable to you the first day he meets you, or do you want him to be vulnerable to you 6 months, 12 months, a year into the relationship? That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because if he's vulnerable the first day he meets you and says, yeah, India, man, I just got a lot going on right now. I'm depressed, and this, that, and the third. First day he meets you, he's unpacking a lot of stuff, and to you, you're probably gonna be like, I don't know if I could deal with all this that's coming with this man. So when I say no to the vulnerability, I meant that to be, when would you like that man to be vulnerable to you? That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. So to your point, Matt, I've actually had that happen on a first date.
I bet.
First, and this I'm trying to tell y'all, my gift will make room for me, literally. And I'd be like, dang, Lord, like, really? And so I've been on experiences when it's supposed to be us, me and you, and I'm hearing all about the crazy girl that you were with before me. And I'm just like, well, bless you. Like right now, we're praying. We're not even on a date right now. I need to pray for you. Like, that's how serious it is. So, but here's the thing that I've learned about real vulnerability, right? Real vulnerability is a natural progression, right? And that's different from you pouring everything out. Normally when folks are pouring out, it's because they've held it up so long and nobody's ever heard them. That's just pouring out. But vulnerability, that's a progression of trust, really and truly. Because if you think about it, the people that you're vulnerable with, you have to trust them first.
Yes, that's facts.
The information, you know what I mean? And so for me, I think that vulnerability is over a progression of time. But sometimes I've also found in my dating chronicles that a lot of men like to put up this, I'm like Mr. Krabs lobster shell of a person, and boo, I've known you for 6 months, and like this is the part where it's okay to do what you need to do or talk to me or whatever like that. So, but again, at the same time, I think it's a natural progression, and right. As trust, then I would like the vulnerability. But I say that to say this, like with my own dad, some things it's taken him years to get vulnerable with me about. And I'm like, Daddy, if you want to tell me that, like this thing too, I get mad at my dad for not telling me versus like telling me, because we've had some very, very deep conversations. I'm like, well, thanks, Daddy, when was you gonna tell me that? But when we had him, he felt comfortable enough and
right.
And that's the thing about it too. Like, I'm not expecting that all in the first day. I'm not expecting that the first year, because some stuff that's deeply rooted, yep. You can't talk to me about it till month, like we year and a half. And I know for all intents and purposes, you ain't going nowhere, so I can trust you with it. So I think it's just a progression. But I think that the willingness to be vulnerable is more important than just vulnerability off the bat, because you're not going to tell me your life story or who hurt you when you were 7. You're not going to tell me that within the first 3, 6, 9 months, Mm-hmm. But it's important, because I have also experienced people who are completely closed off and they're just not going to tell you. And I'm like, baby, you need therapy, babe. Therapy and prayer. And I can't.
No, that's the thing. That's what I recommend. Go to therapy, talk to somebody that can help you with this stuff. But being vulnerable to your partner, I agree with you. It's a progression, but you don't want to expel that load, because it's a lot when you're dealing with somebody, especially when it comes to someone you're attracted to and they have a lot of baggage and they're unloading it on you, and it's like, I got my own shit I got to deal with. Excuse my language. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean by that. Like, it's not a bad trait, but I don't want men to think that they need to be vulnerable straight off the bat, because then the woman is just not going to want you after that.
Oh, yeah. No.
That's what I'm.
That is time and a place for simp hours.
Yeah. It's time and place for what?
Simp hours.
I'm not gonna play with you.
That's what I'm saying. But I get it. So God-fearing, leadership, vulnerability,
and then family oriented. That's like I'm big on family. Like, I'm big on family. So like, here's the thing. I understand stuff happens. I understand that. Like, no family's perfect, including mine. Mm-hmm. So at the same time, I would like you to have a decent relationship with like your nuclear family, like, mother, father, sister, stuff like that. If there's a cousin you don't like, you only see him one time at the family cookout, I mean, that's understandable. But yeah, definitely, but just family oriented in general, because like I don't really like isolation from family. Just because, again, I'm such a person, I believe in the village, you know, as long as they're good, loving, caring, and supportive, and really for you, that I'm for a village. So, but yeah, so I would say those are like the top things that have reflected off of my father that I really, really cherish, just because I'm like, yeah, because I want those same things, you know.
Oh wow, it was a good traits. I agree with them all. I think those are something that you should find in a spouse.
I'm simple. I'm
you know,
I'm really not complicated at all, especially in a relationship. I'm like, boo, life is gonna life already. And I feel like if we have something cohesive and we work on our little incubator relationship, everything else will fall into place.
I like that.
Another what's the word you was using the other day, man? Anomaly.
Another anomaly, yeah.
Another anomaly.
The reason why I say that is because, like, you know, we've had like a lot of women that we've interviewed on the podcast, and like sometimes like they're being honest, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just speaking in generality. They'll say, yeah, I want a man to do this, that, and the third. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, come on, you really don't want a man to do this and that. Like, or either you're an anomaly, because it's not like every other woman is just not in that same mind frame as you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that. I mean, and people have always told me I'm well beyond my quote unquote years, and
yeah,
I'm really, but they always, or at least my sisters and I joke and say I'm the auntie of the group for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably just because, again, I've thought so hard since I was like 8 years old. Like, I guess because of what I was exposed to, and like my cognitive dissonance, like kicking at an earlier age. So I've always been like forward thinking. So it's like, it don't bother me if you, I don't know. I'm trying to think, what's something really, guys, oh, this is a good question for y'all. What's something that we as women nag y'all about that it's like, really, you're making a big deal out of this?
Yeah, doing tasks like dishes or taking out the trash. You know, it's gonna get done. It's gonna get done.
So,
yeah.
So for me, that's not a deal breaker. But like on a real tip, like if you don't respect me or if you're not treating right, that's actual.
I mean, yeah, that's
yeah.
But some people are like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know, this is that. I'm just like, to me, I don't know. It's just, for me, the stuff that holds weight, that's supposed to hold weight, let that hold weight.
Right. Not the little stuff in between.
What's going on? Me and my twin sister were talking about that. I'm like, girl, like she would call me, I need to talk to you. Okay, what are you talking about? Let me stop my emails. What's up? And we would talk and everything. And I would always tell her this. And I told, first of all, I'm like, as I speak to you, I'm speaking to myself. And I would say, perspective is everything. First of all, let's stop. Let's validate your feelings, because how you feel is valid. It's right. It's your truth. It's fine. At the same time, let's look at things in perspective. And when it comes to the relationship in perspective, and when you stop looking at it from here and actually do a wider view and a macro view instead of a micro view, you'll see that what you're fussing about, or, you know, nagging, I hate that word nagging, what we fussing about is not really that big of a deal, you know. But you're probably in a season in your life where that affects you in a bigger way, and that's the conversation that needs to be had. So like, you mad at him doing the dishes? No, it might be that you feel as though he's not contributing to the relationship in a way that you would like him to contribute, which is the actual conversation, not the dishes. The dishes is the catalyst. See, I mean, I'm a big principle of the matter. I'd be like, okay, this is a specific thing, but what was the principle of the matter? And that's how I like to, I guess, guide my relationships. And that's with everybody, though. Friendships, romantic, family, etc. I try to guide it like that. And so we can come to a resolution. But if it's just something small, please, I don't hold on to that stuff.
That's why I say relationships, communication, and transparency is key, man. Like, and setting up those boundaries and those rules in the beginning.
Oh my God.
It's always gonna give you a nice flight, man.
Yes. Oh my God, today. And yeah, and that's the thing. And I think people think that there are no boundaries in romantic relationships. And it's like,
there is.
There are boundaries. Like,
you have to set them.
Yeah.
Like, if you, like, I forget who I was talking to, but no, matter of fact, one of my coworkers, right? Mm-hmm. Her dude, he had an Instagram. He was liking like female pictures and everything like that, right?
Okay. A common 21st century relationship.
A common thing, right? And like his fiance, who I work with, she was upset about that. And I said, well, did you tell him when y'all got together, like, hey, I don't want you doing X, Y, Z? Oh no. Then how the hell that man supposed to know he's not supposed to do that?
How do
and I get it, common sense, like cheating and everything like that's a no-go. But stuff like that, Instagram is entertainment. Like he's not going and taking those women and bringing them home with them. It's just entertainment or whatever the case may be. But if you don't set that boundary, like, hey, I don't like that, I don't want you doing it, then how are you gonna enforce it if there's no rules set?
Exactly. And that's my thing too, because like talking about it, that then creates a responsibility and accountability for both folks. Like I told you, okay, and as a partner in this relationship, or as a second party in this relationship, because there's two parties coming into one, I expect you to respect the boundary I would like to set within us. And then that then makes that person accountable. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Accountability is the word of the day, you guys. And so that's another thing too. Like, and that's why I'm like, little stuff, I'm like, yeah. But if you're not being held accountable about the parameter, that the dynamic, relational dynamic that we're creating, that's the issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hold on, let me ask a question. Cause I was talking to somebody earlier about this, and it kind of just, I just want to get y'all perspective, right? I want to ask you, Indy. Is there a 90-day rule? Like, do women make men wait 90 days? Like, is that a real thing?
Okay.
Because I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna get honest. Because
okay, we've now entered my favorite type of talk, which is relationship talk. Oh my God, I'm just trying to understand y'all. But go ahead.
Nah, 90 days.
Hi.